And welcome back. Our next guest is from the U.S. Office of Kazakhstan Tourism and joins us for a look at this country's programs and activities. We welcome David Valera to the show. Dave, welcome. And you're doing some wonderful things. Tell us about some of the things that you're doing.
Sure, thank you. I appreciate you having me. I just want to say I'm a big fan of your show, 107.5.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Good to meet you here today. Doing a lot of things. My office represents the U.S. Kazakhstan Tourism Association,
Yes.
Which is a newly formed organization, which is exclusively dedicated to promoting and advancing Kazakhstan's agenda in the United States.
Right.
I am happy to say I'm the only American in the country that's literally doing that, thanks to my good colleagues and friends, Sandra Trim DaCosta and Andre DaCosta from the Bullion Foundation for supporting me in this process.
Bullion Foundation does great things. You know.
Absolutely, the best.
We're going to be talking about them all over the world, just like we're going to be talking about this all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. But I'm essentially an advocate and speak on behalf of the people of Kazakhstan with respect to the benefits of tourism and visiting the country.
There's a renewed focus on tourism in Kazakhstan, right?
Yeah, there is, and more importantly, the country has a big misconception. Because it ends in "stan," people equate it to Pakistan or Afghanistan, and
Kazakhstan.
Exactly, exactly. But the fact of the matter is, it's completely removed from there. It's in between China and Russia. It's in Central Asia. It's in the heart of Central Asia.
And Kazakhstan has taken a stand on tourism.
Yes, and its tourism is something that is really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. They are multicultural. They offer an incredibly diverse tourism experience. And you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to really discover an unexplored part of the world.
Yeah, and you have the Cultural Immersion Program. Tell us about it.
Well, there's several. The Cultural Immersion Program is a program created by myself with the help of individuals in Kazakhstan and my colleagues. And that Cultural Immersion Program provides for any visitors to come, live with a traditional Kazakh family, experience the culture, learn the cooking, and sort of live as true Kazakhs do. Tell
us about the culture and the cooking.
Well,
we're always at the food.
Yeah,
so we're talking about food.
Yeah.
The segments here.
The culture is predominantly originated from Turkey, so their cooking is similar to Turkish. Their traditional dish is beshbarmak. Beshbarmak, yes, which is essentially, in American terms, it's essentially pasta, onions, and meat.
Oh, you go.
All right, so that's to simplify it. But it also stands for 5 fingers because the Kazakhs were nomadic people and are used to eating with their hands.
Yes.
So yeah, you eat it with your hands if you want to. Of course, we can use a fork and knife like I do.
Chairs or sit on the ground?
Well, that's another interesting thing. In the cultural immersion experience, you live in what's called a yurta, which in American terms is a tent, homemade tent, and you eat, sitting down on the ground on a table. And they play traditional.
A little flat table about maybe a foot off the ground.
Exactly,
like that.
exactly. And usually the families get to hear traditional Kazakh singers come and play traditional Kazakh songs using traditional Kazakh instruments like the dombra.
The dombra?
The dombra, yes.
Yeah.
It's essentially a small guitar that gives off a great tune, and I encourage everybody to try it.
And everybody's under the tent doing that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've just recently returned from a trip there. I spent the summer there, and I greeted about a little over a dozen American families. Every single one of them couldn't get enough of it.
Sandra, are we going next?
You're actually free to come, and on that same note, actually, let me add something. Both myself and my colleagues in Kazakhstan recently created a program called English for Jastar. There's a Facebook page on it.
Yeah.
English for Jastar is a cultural immersion program for students, specifically targeting minority students from places like the Bronx and the 5 boroughs and so forth. And really, it's an all-expense-paid trip to Kazakhstan.
Great. Maybe we can get Mike Nobby and the crew, Helen and the crew from Bronxnet to bring some cameras down. We'll bring some students. And
Absolutely. It's an all-expense-paid trip to Kazakhstan. It's a non-paid position, but it's 60 days. And what you do is you teach English. You don't have to have experience. You simply work with children ages from 14 to 18, and you have conversational English with them. And I'm proud to say that as one of the architects of this program, with the collaboration of my colleagues in Kazakhstan, the program has been an enormous success.
So what does the horses have to do with it?
Well, that's a great question. Horses are a very big part of Kazakh culture. As a matter of fact, hundreds of years ago, Kazakhs were buried with horses. The Kazakhs were the first ones to domesticate horses in the world. And on that same note, the apples originated from Kazakhstan.
Apples.
That's right. And, you know, nothing could be better than combining the big apple with the original apple.
I got you. All right, good.
All right. So Kazakhstan and New York specifically have a lot more in common than they care to admit. You know?
Good. So when does this trip take place with the students?
It's ongoing now. As a matter of fact, just before I came on.
Now.
Oh, there are students arriving as we speak. And before I came on, there's about 10 students that are going to be arriving within the course of the next 2 to 3 weeks, and applications are ongoing.
Yeah.
So I would love to really engage some of the local students here.
That's
on
the
an
English
experience.
Jastar program?
English for Jastar, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah.
great.
So
All
it's
right.
a really beautiful part of the world. I discovered it as an American 7 years ago on a visit from a local citizen from that country who I met here in New York City, who invited me, and I've not looked back ever since. They have over 200 different nationalities. They are Central Asia's #1 economy. A big question I get asked is it safe? Which I understand. It's a legitimate question. And in 7 years going there, I've not once been made to feel uncomfortable or you know, uneasy in any way.
Because it's surrounded by Russia and China.
Yes,
But
yes.
they have a government that's a functioning government. That's
Yes,
working
and the government is very welcoming to all religions, all races. It doesn't matter. There's a big misconception in that country about, you know, what they're like. I will tell you it's an extremely modern, beautiful society. We say it is the Central Asian Abu Dhabi.
Oh,
That's the best way to describe it. Or Dubai.
Or Dubai.
Yes, the Central Asian
It's an
Dubai.
oasis.
That's right, that's
Yeah.
right. You know, it's a landlocked country, but it has so much to offer in terms of culture, tradition, history, its welcoming nature, and just really an incredibly unique and fantastic once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Well, thank you for sharing all that wonderful information.
My pleasure.
And I'm sure, you know, a lot of people are going to hop on board.
I
with
hope so.
some of the- like you did 7 years ago.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I got the bug.
And we want to thank Sandra for bringing you here.
Yes, and the Bullion
helping-
Foundation, along
Yes.
with, you know, Sandra, as you said, Trim DaCosta, and Henri DaCosta, who have been just unbelievably supportive. This interview would not happen without them, so thank you.
Do you have a website where we can go and take a peek?
Facebook page, English for Jastar, on Facebook. And you can look me up on Facebook as well, David M. Valera. And I'm more than happy to speak with anyone who's interested.
Thank you so much. Give him a big round of applause, everybody. David Valera, U.S. Office of Kazakhstan Tourism. Thank you so much, David.
Okay,
I'm
my
glad
friend.
you came.
All
Glad
right.
we met you.
Good to meet you.